Hello, fellow translators. So I told myself I wouldn't make any more videos of myself because I have other people doing videos who I think can contribute a lot more. I've made a bunch of videos and I feel like I don't have much new to contribute, but I did want to make this one video. So I'm going against that just as a comment to Lucas's video. Now I've explained this before, but I want to go into it a bit more in detail. For Lucas, and he's the translator who's starting off and he's documenting his journey becoming a freelance translator. I'm not giving him any advice as a freelancer, as a translator, or anything like that. And we established that from the beginning. Any advice that I do give him will be as a comment on the video after he's posted the video, because I want the advice to be for everyone. So I will give him advice, like if he's asking how to post a video or, how do you record this or upload this or something like that. Obviously stuff for that, that's fine, but nothing to do with translation. And he was the one who said it from the beginning. He said he didn't want to have an unfair advantage. He just wanted to document his journey. And so that's why I'm being true to that. And I don't give him any advice or any tips or any feedback or anything unless it's like a public comment on a video he's already made. But I wanted to make this video because this is also going to be public and everyone's going to have access to it. And I feel like it's not cheating and it's allowed. And I just wanted to comment quickly on two things, and I'm already talking too much. So let's comment on those two things. First of all, I mentioned something quickly, like he got a client and it was his first client that wasn't a friend. And I said, I think this is even more important than getting his first client. And that's because your first client who's not a friend is a client who he got picked because he passed a test, he passed higher than everyone else. And so he's now like kind of heading up a team or one of the top people in the team. And this is from a complete stranger. And so this is a really good sign. When you have a friend who gives you a job, it could be, obviously you're worth it. They're not going to give you a job out of charity. But on the other hand, it's someone you already know. But when it's done by a complete stranger, it's a really good sign. And so that's why I think these steps are even more important. That doesn't mean you should not get jobs from friends or family or stuff like that. Absolutely, you should. And because those help you along as well. You can also get referrals from them, et cetera, et cetera. But this is a huge milestone. And I think it's the biggest milestone, I think, in terms of getting your first clients, when you can get your first stranger as a client. So I just wanted to add a couple things to that because Lucas mentioned a week or two ago that he was going through a downturn. He was feeling demotivated and he really felt like not much was getting done and he wasn't seeing many results and he didn't feel like pushing on. And I think this is a very important moment because a lot of people will tell you, you got to hustle, just keep hustling and fine. But it's a very different thing if you keep hustling and you don't see results. And so suddenly you start slacking off because it just feels like it's, not much is happening. But then the next day you feel even more demotivated because you're thinking, well, I didn't get much done. I'm behind already. And you keep getting more and more behind. And it's sort of a vicious cycle and it's a downward spiral and it can be pretty bad. And so I think those are crucial moments. And what I usually recommend is when you are feeling demotivated and you feel like you're not getting results and you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over, is to switch it up, to change it up a bit. And so that means just doing something else and for the day, half day, or whatever it is. As an example, this YouTube channel, I started it during one of my quote unquote downturns. I wasn't getting many results. I wasn't getting much done. I was in China at the time and, doing all my work online and I had to keep using a VPN and it was sort of a pain. So I decided, hey, let's set up a YouTube channel where I can kind of talk about my grievances and yeah, that's what I did. And so, there are various other things you can do. My recommendation now is to make a list because when the moment comes and you have a downturn like that, you won't be motivated to think up something new to do, or you'll waste a lot of time if you have to do that. So my recommendation is right now to come up with a list of things you can do when you feel demotivated. And here's some examples of things you could do. You could try to rebrand and remarket yourself. Maybe change your user picture or your slogan, or, you could try to change up your CV, maybe tweak it and change things here and there. You could try to sign up for a new website, pros.com, Translators Cafe, LinkedIn, or any other one that specializes in your industry or in your language or country. You could try to do some volunteer translations. You could volunteer for Translators Without Borders, TED, Wikipedia, I don't know. And you could try to sign up there and do some volunteer translations for the day or for half a day. You could do some more research into getting degrees or certificates if that's something that you might want to do along the line. So, you could write up, okay, one of these down moments, why don't I spend half a day looking up certificates, degrees, and the possibilities and what steps I would have to do in order to achieve that. Another thing you could do is maybe pivot even into related industries. Like if you specialize in financial translations, maybe you can see about adding some financial services. I don't know, or, some accounting services, or adding, or partnering up with an accountant to work on stuff, stuff along those lines. So my recommendation now is to come up with a list of things you can do. So the next time you feel demotivated and you don't feel like doing the same thing over and over, spend half a day doing that other stuff. And that way it changes it up. And then once you're done with that, you'll be that much more motivated to get back into what you were doing, into your sales, into trying to get more translations, trying to get more clients, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so I hope these points helped. And anyway, I've been talking too long already. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave it at that. Okay, thanks. Bye. Savedum.